morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Friday Kentucky Oaks edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Ullman, along with the voice of the Maryland Jockey Club and the voice of the Preakness Stakes, the great Dave Rodman. Dave, we've got 9 on tap. Lots of action at Churchill Downs, but good racing here today as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm concentrating on today. I mean, I think it's kind of a card where you have got 4 or 5 horses can win some of the races. You're going to get some great value, some good odds, and of course that always plays well for our value pick 5s early and late. With getting some prices home.
Can't go wrong with the value pick 5s. We'll talk about them in a moment, but right around the corner is, of course, the Preakness Stakes. Before we get to the Preakness, our opening week at Pimlico is going to be the biggest party in sports, hosted by Lamar Jackson, the owner of the Maryland Colts team. It's the National Thoroughbred League team horse racing season kickoff. This is a really interesting and intriguing event. It's sort of innovative because these celebrity owners, they get a chance to do sort of a mock draft of horses for certain races at Pimlico. The horses that accumulate the most points for the team wins the Pimlico Cup, the much coveted Pimlico Cup.
It certainly is, and you know, you get your tickets. There's a little QR, what do they call those things?
QR code, Dave.
Yeah, QR code there you can scan, but just go check it out on the website. NTL has a website. I believe it says like $20 for a basic ticket, but you could also get the VIP section. You never know who you're going to meet there, as it's hosted by Lamar Jackson, owner of the Maryland Colts team.
All-day extravaganza, food, drink, fashion shows, kids' games, petting zoo, and a lot of rivalries between some great sports legends that own these teams. We also have Mother's Day at Pimlico the following day. Let's talk a little bit about Mother's Day, which is one of the more beloved events. Every single year, the Maryland Jockey Club holds Mother's Day at Pimlico. Just a great event. Between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. Get your tickets at pimlico.com. Treat Mom to a nice day at the races.
It's always a big event in the terrace dining room there, overlooking that first turn at Pimlico, where we hold the Alibi Breakfast every year. Great views from that vantage point. Of course, good food and never a bad seat there as you get right out, a good look at the racetrack and the turf course going in the first turn. And the moms dress up, the whole families dress up. It's a really big thing. Usually a good crowd there in the clubhouse, or just come on over to the grandstand and have some pizza.
Before we finish up and head over to Pimlico, let's take a look at our weather connections for today's card here at Laurel Park. And you can't ask for anything more than this. 80 degrees, the track is fast, the turf is firm. It is a gorgeous day.
Yeah, beautiful out today. Temperature 80, southwest 10 miles an hour, and not much factor for the winds here at Laurel Park.
Let's start things off with race number 1. We're going a mile on the turf. This is a claiming event for 3 and up, 40 down to 32. Non-winners of 2 life. Take out the MTO, the 2 Biravino Boulevard. Take out the also eligible, the 12 Joe the Jet. This is the first leg of our first of 2 value pick 5 wagers. Why do we call it the value pick 5? Because it's the best value in racing. A low 12% takeout. Our colleague and good close personal friend Keith Fustel has a ticket. In race number 1, he's going to go with Prime to Go. He's going to likely be the favorite in Naptown. These seem like logical horses. In the second race, Sweet Izzy is a first-time starter. Born Charmer, She Be Hoppin' coming out of a common race. Race 3, the 4, the 6, and the 7. Delayed is the 9-5 morning line favorite. He singles on Mucho Tigger, who should be the chalk in race 4. And in race number 5, he had Coal Mine, who is scratched. He had Genie in a Bridle, who was a late scratch as well. He's stuck with Freccia d'Argento, and let me tell you something. Freccia d'Argento is very consistent.
Coal Mine is out.
That's what I heard.
Did you?
I don't know.
I just sent him in my value play.
Oh, you did? Okay, so that was your value play. I thought you sent him in as a scratch. He has value. He has the 5 and the 6.
Okay. All right. Well, you learn something new every moment here today at the races.
Let's talk about race number 1. $27 ticket
we'll
for the early value
I'll come up
pick
with
5.
another one. Yeah.
No. I think you're going to be okay.
Okay.
King Mendelssohn is the number 11. Let's talk a little bit about King Mendelssohn. It's a layoff, but is it really?
Not sure. His first time gelding. I can tell you that Richard Hendricks is okay with this kind of layoff. As a matter of fact, he's won with horses 721 days away from the races and 851 days away from the flat races as well. 4 for 29 the last 5 years, 11% with this kind of layoff. It's first time gelding, and I like the way he improved there June of last year, midsummer at Penn National, with a really stout number, I thought. I know people are going to look at Penn and maybe take a little glance the other way, but with this kind of trainer, a horse who has this kind of talent, got the numbers to win, I think he's a play.
This horse also ran in a little training race at Aiken on March the 22nd. They ran him, what, 1.25 miles that day. I think he finished, what did he finish? Finished third that day. So it looks like this may not be a true layoff.
Okay.
I think he should be legged up for this, but I do agree with you. I think this barn does this off layoffs. They put horses in training races, sort of like Kerry Bryan does, and they do well. The horse is very well spotted in this race. Tell me about the number 8, Rector. Second off a long layoff. I like that Madison Myers is wheeling this horse back on short notice. And last time out they rated him. I don't think that's going to be the case here.
Yeah, going back to King Mendelssohn in that race you were talking about, the second place finisher in that race was Auction Kingdom, who is a 5-time winner.
Huh?
And here we go into a non-winners of 2 for King Mendelssohn. So I would think that it'd be a pretty good field that day. All right.
So you got Rector as perhaps the potential speed second off the long layoff.
Yeah, he's going to have to run a little more free today. He didn't get a chance to do it after a 530-day layoff. Last time out from Madison Myers, got rank into the first turn, and it was kind of a good prep, get a leg up, a little air into his lungs first time off of an extremely long layoff. He's dangerous speed factor in the spot.
Angles for the number 4, Naptown for Graham Motion, dropping into a tag, listed as a first-time gelding. We have a trainer stat for Graham on the 4, Naptown. First off, 61 to 120-day layoffs, 35 for the last 173. That's a 20% number and a positive return on investment. Is this a suspicious drop?
I always try to avoid horses like this, but it is the Motion barn and his first time gelding. This horse has been back in training since Christmas week, as far as I can tell from the extended workouts. He had a workout on January 25th, which really doesn't show in your form. It was a bullet, 101 and 3. So I would say, yeah, he's dropping. Kind of horse I avoid because it's going to be a bit of a short price. He is first time gelding as well, and that's a strong stat for trainer Graham Motion. I went to Stats Race Lens to look up that stat. First time gelding, 5 of 24 with a 61 to 180 day layoff, 21%. So all positive signs class-wise, gelding back in training since around Christmas.
I like that you're trying to beat the favorite in here, but I'm a chalk-eating weasel. I'm going to go with the 1, Prime to Go, making his first start off the layoff. We do have a video spotlight for Primed to Go, and we're going to take a look at this race. And Primed to Go kind of makes an early move. This pace is very fast, set by a runaway leader, and he's going to make this 3-wide bid on the turn. He's eventually going to make the lead, and I just think the first move wasn't the best move in this race because look who beats him, the horse that makes the last move.
Well, it's Colts Next Stable, Duarte. They've had some bad luck in bringing horses back here at Laurel Park with a few runners so far in the last couple of weeks. And you know what? I picked every one of them. And maybe that's the jinx. I didn't go with Prime to Go today, and maybe because I'm off the Colts Neck Duarte bandwagon, your pick's going to win.
That was a tough beat last time out, but I'm going to go with Prime to Go in here. You're going with the outside, King Mendelssohn, 111.46 for me, 11.847 for Dave in the opener at Laurel Park. Let's move on to race number 2. Race number 2 is at 5.5 furlongs. This is a maiden claimer, 12.5 down to 10. Maryland breds can run for 15. 3-year-old fillies. It is the first leg of our first of 3 50-cent pick 4 wagers. The payouts have been good recently. If you get knocked out of the pick 5, we hope you're not, get involved in the pick 4. And if you're still alive in the pick 5, get involved in the pick 4. It's good to be greedy in this game. You're going to go with the number 5, She Be Hoppin'. We have a video spotlight that highlights She Be Hoppin' and Born Charmer. Let's take a look at that right now. You see from the gate, the 4 and the 5 kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah, Born Charmer beat She Be Hoppin' pretty soundly in that race, but a little bit of trouble at the beginning. She Be Hoppin' saved ground down the back stretch run, kind of even paced it through the stretch, but then after the wire, galloped out past Born Charmer, who I thought had a pretty good trip as well. This is a second start for for Claudio. You get Apprentice Yeds at Hazelwood aboard. I think that could be the difference to turn the tables over Born Charmer today. And interesting that Born Charmer is probably going to be a shorter price, I would believe, based on past performances. As you have morning line even money on Charmer, she be hopping at 5-2. I thought it was pretty good effort from Born Charmer. There you see on the outside, kind of a little bit left leadish, but after the wire kind of put it all together and galloped out past Charmer.
It was a really good learning debut, I think, for this horse, and can certainly take a step forward. I agree with you that Born Charmer, who's very, very consistent, hit the board in the last 4, worked out a good trip in that race. That horse is tactical enough to get that sort of a trip. Those two look like the horses to beat, but if you want a fresh face, the number 1, Sweet Izzy, is a first-time starter, must overcome the rail, going out for Brandon McFarlane. We have a trainer stat for Brandon between January 31st and April the 27th. This barn hasn't run many horses, but 2 for 10, a $3.20 ROI. And I think Brandon can win with a first-time starter. Remember this horse named Miss Harriet.
I was going to say,
I remember that horse
the greatest
winning
public handicapping pick in the history of thoroughbred racing by Dan Illman in the Maryland Million. Was it the Lassie?
I think it was the Lassie, yes.
But looking back, though, this filly has kind of a little bit of the same MO you used at picking Miss Harriet. The dam broke the maiden at Parks early in the career, not first start, but the 4th start, running a 69 buyer. So if the daughter's like the mama and can run in the 60s, even the 50s here, debut, she's home.
Yeah, and the dam was a solid horse.
Yeah.
Stakes place turf router, 94 on the turf. There's a little turf and distance in this pedigree, but I think with an alert break, Sweet Izzy can be in the mix. The 6 is She's a Hot Mess. That's my second pick, and your first-time starter going out for Jason Smith. $2,700 weanling, but the first full out of a daughter of champion sire Into Mischief. The second dam was a good horse. Stakes place turf router, 88 buyer on both turf and synthetic, and this horse seems to be working since mid-March. Should be ready.
Yeah, I gave it an okay work on March 30th and looking up comparison works. I just maybe want to see one. 1,000 words, right? She should be fast at some point in the race. Maybe she does have some early speed. Certainly the works don't really show it. There's nothing flashy there. But then again, that's why she's in for maiden 15 first out.
It's a great game. Same past performances, different viewpoints. 2 experienced horses, 5-4 on top for Dave. I'm going with 2 firsters, 1-6 in race number 2. We move on to race number 3, 1 mile on the turf. This is a maiden claimer, 16 down to 12.5. Maryland breds can run for 20. Take out the 5 Clear Court, a horse I know you were a little bit interested in, and take out the AEs, the 11, 12, and 13. This is the first leg of our second of 3 pick 4 wagers. 50 cent is the minimum. Again, the prices have been there recently. I thought this was kind of a wide open race. You're going to go with the 4. It's a Vibe. Tell me about this one.
Well, I was interested in Claire Court. I know Keith was interested in Claire Court, but she's out of the race now, and I'm not going for the master of the obvious with the 7 delayed. I thought this would be a good race to take a stab at, and I'm not knocking your pick.
No, that's fine. I'm
win.
Mr. Moto.
But, sometimes you look at replays and you see more than you should when you really want to get a horse there. It's a Vibe had 1 race at Presque Isle, and that was back October last year as a 2-year-old. Kind of broke a little awkwardly, kind of the side of the gate, just kind of hung around toward the back of the pack, tried to run a little bit in upper stretch, and then when she did, she had to angle off heels to the outside at the 8th pole. Now, she didn't gallop out, she didn't do anything special, but she did have an excuse at the start and an excuse at the 8th pole. But you see, maybe she's got room for some improvement in this spot, and that's why I took a shot. Is a Vibe.
You got Steam Knot in here as well, the number 6. Susan Cooney gears her horses up for turf season. Steam Knot will make the seasonal debut, and we do have a trainer stat, I believe, on Steam Knot. It's a limited positive statistic. First, after 120 to 180 days, 20%, a 282 return on investment. I like that this horse has some tactical speed. You can basically put her anywhere the jockey wants.
Yeah, I mean, she has a great number. Delayed as actually, she has my top number in here, Steam Knot. I'm just concerned about the layoff. I've seen her run before. I've actually had her on Stable Mail before. And what happens? She keeps trying, doesn't get there. So now she winds up at over 12 maiden off the layoff. but certainly a filly who's run back numbers good enough to win and beat Delayed, I think.
Delayed, though, I do think is the horse to beat in here. This horse is taking a big drop in class, down to 16. I'm not interested in the last race on dirt. I thought the horse ran okay on turf, 2 starts back, 4 wide after a half mile, steadied in between, late on the back stretch. Just those horses, I think, were a little bit better than the ones that Delayed's going to be running here. I got a look at one of the recent workouts, got the better of a horse named Active, who has a 79 turf buyer. I think that just Delayed, it's either now or never for this one.
Well, is it a case like the Tim Willie situation the other day, where a first-time starter can win? Remember last past weekend? Here's a firster by Tourist. That's turf, baby. Don't Gotta Tell Me by Tourist. Tim Keefe, first-time starter out of an Indian Charlie mare at a Wachtell stable, homebred. The sibling took charge, had some turf success, sprinting.
See, if I would prefer a stranger, I'd prefer the 9 Authenticated. I know this horse hasn't done much on dirt, but the dam, I believe, is a full sister to Ring Weekend, to win the Kilroe Mile on the turf. So maybe if this horse is going to do it, it's going to be on grass, and I know she has a little bit of speed. Dave's going 4, 6, 7, 9. I'm going 7, 6, 9, 10 in race number 3. Race number 4 is at a 1-turn mile on the dirt. It's a 12-5 down to 10. Non-winners of 2 life for fillies and mares. This is the first leg of our 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. Pick the first place finisher in each of the final 6 races on today's card, and you win the entire pool. This is a race where I think the 7 Mucho Tigger is going to be tough. I like what you're doing, though, trying to go for a price with the 1 My Sugar Boo, who finished behind Mucho Tigger last time out, but this horse has got some sneaky form.
Yeah, chased on the outside that day, moves toward the inside, sneaky form. At a mile, maybe this is a distance. If she gets a good break from the starting gate and gets position, she's got a chance in this spot. She pulled a 58-1 upset in breaking her maiden over this track back January of last year. She's had some excuses in the 4th start since moving to the Anthony Aguirre barn, and I wasn't in love with anything in the race. So I said, here's another chance for a price. My Sugar Boo.
Like the fact that this horse is coming back on short notice in a week. I remember this barn did that at Colonial a couple of years ago in a stakes race and won with a horse named Shambo off a week's rest. So I think it's going to be a good move for My Sugar Boo. We do have a video spotlight of Mucho Tigger, who's going to be, I would think, the pretty heavy favorite in here. Mucho Tigger is going to finish second in the 2nd start of the form cycle. But if you're going to watch this race, you're going to say that everything seemed to go right for Mucho Tigger. Mucho Tigger's on hold here, but it's going to get a really nice split in between horses, 3 wide. Comes with a good run to finish second, just got wired that day. Listen, if she runs back to the 66 buyer, she's going to be very tough.
Yeah, I mean, she looked like the goods in this race, and she really didn't make an impact in finishing second. The winner of the race had the speed, had the rail, and was gone. Could be a different situation today. Yeah, she's got numbers to win. Short price, though.
Yeah, well, sometimes better short price than a long face, Dave. And
Mucho used to tell me that.
And Mucho Tigger is
That's
gaining
like
a little
5
bit
media communications directors before you.
at
Craig
the end
Schoolis.
of that race. Race number 4, Mucho Tigger's where I'm going. Dave's going with the 1, My Sugar Boo. 1762, Dave. 7516 for me. 4 down, 5 to go. We're going to take a little break, and when we'll be back with the late pick 5. Max got a ticket.
Baltimore! To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silence takes the lead at the quarter pole. American Barrow, phenomenal in the Preakness. And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra!
Smarty Jones, he wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths.
She's the brave, wins the Preakness.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Dave. 4 down, 5 to go. Let's take a look at the field for race number 5. We're going a mile and a 16th on the main track. Claimer 7,500 down to 6. Take out the 7 Genie and a Bridle. See, you're right, Dave. I have the worst trifecta here. I'm discombobulated, frazzled, and I'm picking chalk all day long. It's a bad trifecta to have. Coal Mine is in. Genie and a Bridle is out. Freccia d'Argento is still the 5-2.
Thank you.
Slow favorite.
All right, so Coal Mine apparently is in.
Coal Mine is in. See, I got a little confused earlier on. It's all my fault.
Luckily, I only put one line through the scratch here and there.
As usual.
Anyway.
Pick 5. Before we get to your analysis, we'll talk about the first leg of the 12% value pick 5. It is a super wager because of the low takeout and the great prices we have recently. Our colleague Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket for the late pick 5 going Divine Exchange and Freccia d'Argento in the first leg, the 2 and the 6. 3, 4, and 6 in the second leg, race number 6. In race number 7, Stone Cold Kelly, the 2, the 4, Cynthia Gale, the 5, Coquilla Miss, 10-1 on the morning line. The single comes in race number 8. That's Derbiness back from New York for the Russells. And in the finale, 1, 2, and 4. $31.50 ticket for Mac. It's the value pick 5, the second of 2 on today's card. Okay, race number 5. You're going with the 5 Coal Mine value play of the day. Sell me.
Okay. Off since January, that race last out April 12th, most recent on the muddy track here at Laurel, won by Brackett. We'll talk about in a little bit coming up in a later race. Had the inside, gave chase and gave way. I think the outside may be a little bit more the flow place to be that day on April 12th, so she was kind of up against it being on the inside. First start since late January there. Second back after the layoff and going in the Wayback Machine back when she was in Claudio Gonzalez's barn. Races that really probably don't even show in your form unless you got Formulator and Expanding. She's got numbers, I think, that would tower over this spot, over this field. And I think if you can get a good 3.5 to 5-1 on her, I think she's a great play. I'm
going to try to look past the layoff with the 2 Divine Exchange in this race. We haven't seen this horse since the summer. It is a concerning layoff. I thought this horse ran pretty well last time out, going 2 turns at Delaware, made a mid-move, got into contention, was immediately confronted on the outside, and then understandably tired, hit the board in her final 3 starts of 2024. I just like this horse's tactical speed. It's going to get close to the pace, but the question is this horse going to need a race off the layoff?
Well, you're looking at the DRS stats, you would say yes, but she was second behind Sweet Heidelberg when she was sharp as a race back in August, and you got some great numbers outside of Maryland, Belterra Park, where she put together back-to-back in spring of last year. Yeah, if you had told me that Coal Mine was indeed not running, I probably would have just jumped right on her and put her on top, bypassing my other picks. But I think Coal Mine, we're going to see kind of a reinvigorated mare today from a barn that's had a good 7 or 8 days here in Maryland.
Freccia d'Argento is always consistent. She's hit the board in her last 3 races. She just doesn't win very often. It's been the story of her career, lots of seconds and thirds. She tried hard. I thought last time maybe she got blind switched a little bit, turning into the stretch. Got out and, again, found one better, Brackett.
Even pacer. Just when she looks like she's going to do something, it's an even clip home. So, yeah, she figures in the spot, but at that price, I think I'll look elsewhere.
So you have Sweet Talia in the mix. That one will be a good price.
If it rains. Don't think so.
5-6-4-3 for Dave, 2-6-3-1 for me in race number 5. Let's move on to race number 6. We're going a mile on the turf. Starter optional claiming event for fillies and mares 3 and up. 12 through 14 are out. MTO 1 Neolithica is also a scratch. This is the first leg of our jackpot high 5, $1 minimum wager, 15% takeout. Carryover creeping upwards. We're closing in on $5,000. It's also the first leg of our final of 3. Pick 4s, 50-cent minimum wager on the pick 4 beginning in race number 6. Let's start things off with She Is Whiskey, the number 4 in this race. She Is Whiskey is my top selection. She Is Whiskey is probably going to be the favorite. She Is Whiskey's going to have to deal with a little bit of a layoff, but we do have a video spotlight. This is She Is Whiskey's most recent start. Now, BTR trained this horse back on November the 9th, and She Is Whiskey, I thought all in all the trip was good, but you're going to notice on the backstretch, watch Sheldon reach over and have to adjust the irons right around here. See, sort of in between horses on the backstretch, he got bumped when he wanted to get out. Sheldon just consummate professional, just put the foot right back in the irons, get to the outside, and gets it done. Good performance there for She Is Whiskey. The fans love it too.
Superior mare that day. I think she has a superior number. The question is the time away from the races. Claimed for 12.5 into Phil Capuano's barn, but she's in here for a little protection. So I think they probably like her in this spot. If she could run that race back, yeah, she's the one to beat.
Let's talk a little bit about the 8 bracket in here. You're interested in horses coming out of bracket's most recent start. What about this one?
Well, she's tried the turf a few times back at Woodbine with another conditioner, but claimed 4 races back. They got a nice win out of her on a muddy track. I know she's by Exaggerator. Okay, that mud, it was all mud, and Exaggerator moved her up. But I like the way she made a sustained move around the turn on the dirt that day. And then going back to pedigree for the turf, she's out of Princely Sum by Lemon Drop Kid. The second dam, okay, I'm going to get Andy Serling demerit for mentioning a second dam. The second dam
What's wrong with the
had
second
stamina, winning a maiden in Ireland at 1.5 miles. And all of her races were very, very long, like a marathon-type races. So pedigree-wise, she should be able to handle the 2 turns. Was it the mud, the kind of little bit of an outside bias that day that moved her up, or is she just going to get good on the turf? I'll take my shot here at that price. 8-1 line.
Ballycoot is a horse we have second. I thought this horse might have had a little bit more of a difficult trip than She Is Whiskey when She Is Whiskey beat her last time out. She Is Whiskey worked out the inside, in-between, eased-out trip. Ballycoot was just hung out wide every step of the way from the far outside post, prompting 4 wide after a half mile and was still in it till mid-stretch before tiring. Another one that's going to have to deal with the layoff. Kerry Bryan's been going well recently. We've got a trainer stat for the 6. Ballycoot between February 14th, April the 27th, 4 for 16, 25%, 396 ROI. I'm expecting a good effort here.
Yeah, and it's Carol. Is it Carol Cedeno? Did we get it
yes,
right?
Carol.
It is Carol Cedeno. Well, and she's had success with this horse before, including a win on this horse back in May, a long time ago, May in 2023. So they get along. So Ballycoot and Carol.
So bracket, another price source for Dave, 8643. We'll see if She Is Whiskey off the layoff, off the fill claim, can do it again, 4, 6, 3, and 8. Race number 7 is coming up, 1 turn mile, maiden special weight, $47,000 is the purse. This race is for 3-year-old fillies. Dave, Stone Cold Kelly is the 8-5 morning line favorite. You're going to go with the 3 Frosted Dreams. This horse showed some improvement, I thought, second time out. I know the Buyer's speed figure decreased, but this horse kind of was inside, had to alter course to the outside in the stretch, and the horse that beat her just freaked out that day.
Yeah, Grayson's Girl was a no doubt about it winner. Made a bold move at the 5/16 pole. You could tell she was going to win, and the question of how far she would win by. She eventually won by 8 lengths that day, and I have her with a good figure from that race, actually, in finishing second to Grayson's Girl. Now, of course, looking at the just numbers, I think just about every number would have Stone Cold Kelly with better numbers. I did kind of look at that last race in New York, kind of the left leadish.
Yeah.
The majority of the stretch are pretty much a concern for me.
That is somewhat of a concern. This horse should be fit and ready after 3 one-turn mile races. Was very late to change leads, but was also sort of prompting the pace on the outside that day. Second best to an odds-on winner. Going to have him tied on at a relatively short price to beat a horse like Frosted Dreams. Let's watch Stone Cold Kelly's video race, and let's see what Dave's talking about here.
Yeah.
Here she is on the outside. Now, she's been prompting the pace throughout and losing ground. She looms pretty boldly into the stretch, but watch, she's going to hang on her left lead for most of the stretch run.
Yeah, even paced horse like this without a kick on the left lead-ish, I call it, I guess. Yeah, she's certainly on the lead there. At a short price, I'll try to take a little stab in searching around, and I think Frosted Dreams certainly has the credentials. In addition, early on in the race, I think the opening strides out of the gate, opening 16th of a mile or so, she kind of inherited a good position on the outside when there was some trouble with the inside 2 or 3 horses in that race. So, the one to beat. If you're running the race on paper with numbers, you just write her the check right now. But
They don't do
It's not
that.
the way it works.
Cynthia Gale, though, I think is a very interesting horse. We both have her in the mist. Third-time starter for Madison Myers. This horse shipped down to Colonial last time out. I thought that was a speed track. Victor settled this horse on the outside, had to come wide into the stretch, just finished behind the 3 favorites. I liked the progression, and I won't be surprised if this horse really appreciates stretching out in distance.
Face Complexity Jane first out. She came back to win, stakes winner. Brittany Russell second out. You mentioned Colonial. Divine Works, the winner of that race, was one of the betting favorites on Maryland Million Day back in the Lassie, I believe it was.
3-4-2-7 for Dave. Let's watch the Madison Meyer trainer stat on Cynthia Gale. Experienced runners, first time route, 2 for the last 10. Limited positive, $5.14 return on investment. This barn's been going very, very well recently. Let's take a look at the first leg of the late double. It's race number 8. And we're going a 1-turn mile. Stateside allowance, 48,000 is the purse. Take out the 4, take out the 6. Derbiness is the 8-5 morning line favorite. We've got a video spotlight for Derbiness's most recent race. I was chasing Derbiness over and over again here at Laurel Park. Lo and behold, Derbiness shows up in New York.
Did you catch the 4-1? That's the question.
I was sleeping again.
I caught the 4-1 as the horse was coming down the stretch on the far outside. I said, who's that? Oh, looks like a Maryland horse. Yeah, it is, Derbiness.
Now, Derbiness was turning back to 7 furlongs in this race. This is a horse that usually shows a lot of early speed. You saw he got bumped a bit at the start. Has no chance here. At the 3/16 pole, has about 6 lengths to make up, but Derbiness is really kicking hard in the stretch, and it's not like this horse on the lead is no good. That horse came right back to win the very next start. With a more alert break stretching out to a mile, Sheldon can have Derbiness either on the lead or just off of it. I don't think Derbiness is going to make things a heart attack special this time.
Is it possible that they found the whole card and got something, they found something that maybe a little subtle change to get this horse to settle in the training in the morning, because formerly the horse liked to run on the pace, with the pace, and that race very impressive off the pace, no doubt about it. He can relax and can make a kick. Was it the muddy track?
The 3 is Bill of Rights, second off the claim for Joanne Schenkel, going sprint to route. We have a trainer stat for Joanne and Bill of Rights. This is a barn that has done well recently, moving sprint to dirt route. 30% winners, a 397 ROI. So off the claim, they stretched from 5.5 down to 7. I thought all in all this horse had a really good trip. Ty gave this horse an inside-out trip, and Bill of Rights grinded it out in the manner of a horse that will appreciate another furlong.
I'm not worried about the little layoff from February 28th either, right? Not for this barn. No, maybe just needed a little time to grow up, put a little weight on, maybe just a minor issue or whatever. I'm coming right back. I'm certainly, by constitution, should be able to get this nice 1-turn mile here at Laurel Park. Finished second at the 1-turn mile on the Wayback Machine back in now when he was a 2 in 2023.
I think Foggy Dew's the key to this race, Dave, because this horse has all the upside in the world. Just a big, good-looking son of Irish War Cry. Showed some ability in the one race last year, sprinting, then went off the layoff, came back going a 1-turn mile, relaxed very well on an easy lead, and sprinted on home. It's really all going to be about what sort of race flow can Foggy Dew get. I think Foggy Dew is going to be up close to the pace again. Is Derbiness going to go? If not, maybe Foggy Dew asserts himself.
With bold aversion out of the race, this is a very, very interesting horse. I wouldn't leave out. Dog Figs, Derbiness last 91, Foggy Dew 90, Ooh. Bill of Rights 89. Ooh. How close is that?
That's very close.
Right?
Take the price.
Yeah, take the price. Foggy Dew with bold aversion out. Tactical move here, going to the front. I think so, Victor.
Let's close things out on race number 9, 5.5 furlongs, 12.5 down to 10. Take out the 3. Riley's Cry Baby. 8-5 on No Tip Tony and Tori Alba on the morning line. I want to start with the 2, St. Grace, however, because we do have a trainer stat for St. Grace. Robbie Bales conditions this daughter of Connect. Past year on the dirt, 4 for the last 10, 6 for 10 on the board with second out maidens. Take a look at that ROI. $6.44. St. Grace was legged up in a very sharp sprint going 4.5 furlongs. Expect some speed here.
Yeah, coming off a 4.5 in the pedigree, that extra little distance is going to help him today, no doubt. I watched the race at Charlestown, wasn't super dazzling in the stretch, didn't like gallop out by 10 or anything like that, but that race was a good leg up, and that stat seals the deal. from me and St. Grace.
You got Miss Serafina breaking from the rails, hit the board in all 3 lifetime starts. Again, a very consistent performer. The buyers haven't been there just yet in the 20s, but it's too early to just give up on a horse like this.
Miss Serafina, right, coming out of on a Proud Note race, where earlier today we'll kind of get a good read on that race, right? There's a couple of horses coming out of that same race earlier in the card. That was the race where the 4th place finisher in there actually galloped out past Born Charmer. I forget the note now, and I'm not going to sit here and look for it. But yeah, she just kind of been even pace through the stretch. I think the upside will be Second Art with St. Grace.
No Tiptonies where I'm going, up from Gulfstream Park, first time Lasix, returning to dirt, but this horse ran well on dirt and Hawthorne earlier in the career. Last time out earned a 43 buyer on the Synth. If this one runs that race, is going to be real tough. Was 4 wide that day, very, very late to make the final lead change, but ran on evenly. Again, it looks like this horse is very well spotted.
Yeah, I found the horse. She Be Hoppin' in today's second race. Was out of the Miss Serafina race. So you'll get a good gauge early in the card if you're looking to that final race of the day.
4651 for me, 21544 for Dave. Value play time. Dave, your value play's in.
Oh, thank you. Troy Singbarn been red hot the last 7 to 10 days. This horse has a good back number, good enough to drub this field. I think they'll be a little more aggressive today. I'm going to work in a coal mine, going down, down, down. Lee Dorsey, 1961.
Well done, but you're going to get beat by Divine
Or what?
Exchange
I
in the
don't
same race. Race number 5, number 2, 4 to 1 on the morning line. So we'll put some French fries at the Pizza Lady on our head-to-head wager in our best play. 25 minutes to go for race number 1 on a Friday. Beautiful Friday afternoon at Laurel Park. Main track, fast turf is firm. This guy will be back with scratches and changes in a bit.